I'm 1,000 pieces, still standing tall, a voice in the chaos. I've lived it all. I'm a wife, I'm a mother, a friend in the night, holding a broken, still holding a lie. Shells in my pocket, dreams in my hands, building something they don't understand. The crafter of hope from shattered days, finding my strength in a million ways. They don't see the tears fall down in the shower, they don't know the pain behind the power. They only see me when I'm shining bright, not the battles I fight every night. But still I rise through the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong, this is where I belong. Mommy ramblings in my name, I built this boy full of pain. Every rebel that stayed by my side, you're the reason I survive. Still I rise, still I stand, with a broken heart and steady hand. They try to tear me down piece by piece, like I don't deserve a moment of peace. Was it just cause I didn't fit their mold, so they threw their stones and turned so cold? There are things I'll never say out loud, the kind of pain I don't need a crowd, but I carry it deep where the silence lives, and still find a way to give and give. And I smile when I go live like I'm okay, but they don't see the price I pay. I'm missing you with every breath I take, my sweet boy, my heart still breaks. But still I rose for the fire they made, through the hate, through the words they threw in my face. I'm still here, I'm still strong, this is where I belong. Mommy ramblings, this is me. Every left, still chasing dreams. Every rebel that never walked away. You're the light that got me through the grave. Still I rise, still up there, with your memory in my head. God, you carried me when I was weak, when I couldn't stand, you lifted me more times than I could ever say. You made a way, you made a way. And I've got dreams that won't let go, a foundation built from love I know. For my son, for the words he played, I'll turn my loss into something I've been made. Yeah, I rise, now I'm stronger than before. Every scar just opened up a door. I'm still here, hear me now. I won't break, I won't bow. Mommy rambling, loud and clear. This is my voice, this is my year. Every rebel, every heart, you've been with me from the start. Still I rise, still I fight, turning darkness into light.
I'm still your mom, and I'll build something beautiful from all this pain.
Don't get the monkey, Scooter. Hello, don't get the monkey, Scooter. Can you hear me? Don't get the monkey. And I went and I what do they call it? What was that thing that girl used to always say? I scrubbed your video. I didn't hear anything about a monkey. I saw loofahs and Dave like, gentle, be gentle. You're too rough with the loofah. Okay. Let me make sure that you can hear me. I felt like it was clickbait. I don't think you were talking about a monkey at all. I feel like it was clickbait. Okay. You're happy? What is that? My phone? What does that have? A bloody what? I'm on my phone and have had a few Bloody Marys. Where? At your house? You and Dave are making Bloody Marys? Dave doesn't drink Bloody Marys. You're happy and kinda? And kinda what? That was clickbait? I don't go back to channels that clickbait. So I won't be able to visit your channel again. And we won't be able to have it on the rotation here because it's clickbait channel. It said something about a monkey and I saw nothing about a monkey. So we're going to have to tell everybody to unsub. Everybody unsub right now. Cottage. And kind of cottage. Okay, I don't know what the and kinda is. All right. Okay, so what is that? Beer? Oh, beer. Okay. What was I going to say? Oh, you guys you want to hear something you was almost going to call? I was almost going to call. What do you mean call? You want to hear people here. You was almost going to call people here. Listen, I don't know what the heck you're talking about, Scooter. You're not making sense. But you guys have to hear something really weird, freaky, and I need you to help me to figure this out. Okay? I did a live earlier tonight. Okay. I'm going to pull this over here. Please tell me who is saying something at, oh gosh, what I had the amount of minutes, 13:04 it is. Okay. Please tell me who's talking because it's only Jimmy and I in the house. So who said this? Listen. I just leave them here without attaching them, and then it's just, I keep making different decisions. I said, just got to do it. I'm too much of a perfectionist. Oh, maybe I'll find a better piece. Maybe, no, just do it. Okay, so that's one of the ladies. Wait, I'm ahead. I'm too ahead. Hold on, I didn't go back enough. Hold on. I just leave them here without attaching them, and then it's just, I keep making different decisions. I said, just got to do it. I'm too much of a perfectionist. Oh, maybe I'll find a better piece. Why can't I hear it now? Why don't I hear it now? I just leave them here without attaching them, and then it's just, you know what? You know what? Something happened. Before it was saying, hi guys. Oh my gosh, I wish I would have taped that. It probably because maybe it hadn't processed all the way. And I see what it is now. Because you hear me like I say, but it's, oh my gosh, I wish I would have, because even Jimmy listened to it. It's so weird. Oh my gosh. That is so weird. Hold on a minute. I'm going to see if I can get it on my phone. I'm telling you, you don't understand. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I wish I had put this on my phone. Wait a minute. They took a highlight clip for my, and I didn't publish it. Let me see if it's still there because that's the one that said it the way. Hold on. Now I'm getting freaked out. Now I'm freaking out. Okay. Hey, just hang on a second. Oh my gosh, this is not fair. Okay, let me see now. Content. Shorts. Okay, you're just going to have to listen now. It's 20. Let me see if it still has it the way it was. I just leave them here without attaching them, and then it's just, oh, see? I keep making different decisions. I said, just got to do it. It's that before this was processed fully, when I said that, it said, hi guys. Like, where you hear that crazy thing? Now I know. Oh, I'm so glad Jimmy heard it, because if Jimmy hadn't heard that, I don't know what I would have done. Because he's my proof that that really said it like that.
I just leave them here without attaching them, and then it's just.
See, right there where I go, something like that. It said, "Hi, guys." While I was talking, I'm telling you, like this, "Hi, guys." Just like that. "Hi, guys." While I was talking. And we're like, "What is that?" And Jimmy's even like, "Oh, that's so weird." It literally, "Hi, guys." It was like, "Hi, guys." But, oh my gosh, thank goodness Jimmy heard it. Thank goodness Jimmy heard it. Because now okay. Otherwise, I would have really been very upset. I can't believe that it went like this. "Hi, guys." Well, I was talking, and we're like, "Who is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. Somebody's saying, 'Hi, guys.'" But now I hear that it's something like, I must have said, and when it was processing, it sounded like, "Hi, guys." You guys don't even know what I'm talking about, right? "Hi, guys." It's like that. "Hi, guys." Did anybody hear it? I can't believe it. I wish I would have saved it, or could have not processed right away and shown it to you guys. You guys don't even care, do you? Things like that really bother me. Before it processed, it literally was like, "Hi, guys," while I was still talking. You don't even care. Okay. All right, so let's go on to the next thing. I might have gotten blocked from a few of the pro Carmelo Anthony channels and TikTok accounts. I might have went in there and wrote some things that I didn't even think were inflammatory, that I thought were quite factual, while some woman was calling white people honkies and other racist names. Okay, and this other guy, he's looking at the bleachers. Oh my gosh. He's so full of himself. He's so freaking full of himself. He thinks he solved everything here. And I said, it's a shame. No, I said, maybe you should have worked on the defense team if you had all this information. Why did you wait till now to say anything? If you knew all this, because it's not just the videos that they're talking. They knew everything, So why'd you wait till now to bring this out? I told this guy, well, I said Carmelo's a murderer and he's right where he should be, because they're saying like the worst things in the world about the Metcalf boys. It's disgusting, and they know they're going to be banned. They know it because they're telling her, and what she was doing with the fundraiser. They're having these fundraisers in there, and they're like, "Don't tell anybody, because those honkies, they're going to get this all taken down and stuff." And they're like, "What? Well, why don't we have to go in secretive? We have to be secretive again with this raising of the money and everything." And they're going on and on and on about it. Okay, so yeah, I got read the chat. Everyone heard the hi guys. Oh gosh, did you? Because my chat was behind. Sing a song of sixpence, a pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. Freebird. Did somebody say Freebird? Hi, Freebirds. Oh, you did hear it? Is that our Freebird? Is that our Freebird? Freebird, is that you? It looks like your name is different, but your avatar looks the same. Hi, Freebird. How are you? Yeah, but it was different, you guys. It was really out there when I heard it. I was speaking and he goes, "Hi, guys." Okay, it's different. Now I can't even hear it. Before, you could not hear it. It said, "Hi, guys." Hi, Freebird. Good to see you. I'm telling you guys, it's sad. You do care, Mr. Wu. Thank you. I'm feeling especially needy tonight. Yes, it's me. I'm good. Oh, good. Your name looks different, though. I don't remember the underscore between the free and the bird. You've had a couple of Bloody Marys tonight. Okay. Why did they name that drink that anyway? I don't like that name of that drink. Why does it have to be a Bloody Mary? You know what I mean? That's really not an appetizing drink at all. Why couldn't they call it like a spiked tomato or something like that? A spicy tomato. A spiked tomato or something. Why would they call it a Bloody Mary? That's not appetizing in the least. YouTube messed with your name. Oh, I know why. Yes, I know why, Freebird. Because it does the other thing for... Yes, I get it now. I get it now. Hi, Suki. Oh my gosh. It's like old home week. Suki's here. Is that our Suki from ages ago too? Suki. Is that Suki or Suki? You used to come on panel and stuff? Hi, Suki. You know, I always think about that. Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. Polly put the kettle on. We'll all have tea. Suki, take it off again. Suki, take... Is that the real lyrics? Is it Suki, take it off again? I don't know, and I don't know who to ask on that one. Do you happen to have another channel name? You can go into these chats for a reconnaissance mission. Well, they're just going to block me again, the bee lady. They'll just block me again. They don't even, you know what? She's a liar, too. That one lady is a liar. She goes, she's sitting all there, all up in it, you know, and she goes, I don't block people for a difference of opinion. I block people if you come in here and say disrespectful things about Carmelo Anthony. Well, you know what? I didn't say anything about Carmelo Anthony, okay? And she still blocked me. So she's a liar, but that's not surprising. But Suki, is that our Suki? Who's that one now? Sizzle. Is that what? Who's that? Sazzle? You heard it loud and clear? I don't know why I can't hear it anymore. Because I'm telling you, I heard it before. Now I can hear it's coming from me. But before, it sounded like I'm talking to you and someone goes, hi guys. I'm telling you, you don't even understand how it sounded before. It sounded completely different before. You're just hearing it like that, but before, I have no idea who you're talking about. The channels I follow who cover the folks will drift in and out and say he's innocent. Well, I don't know. One lady you told me about, Bee Lady, had some strong opinions. But these people, I told you, one was like Lakeisha. Suki, is that Suki? Is that our Suki from ages ago? Did she answer? Oh, I'm in top chat. No wonder I'm missing everything. That is but what is that? Is Suki someone's name? Murder? Suki, take it off again. Suki, take it off. Because Polly put it on. Where did Suki come from? Is Suki her name? Because that's not a very common name. Where would they get that? You have something like Polly and then Suki. Why not like Betty, take it off again? But where did Suki come from? Don't be sorry, B-Lady. You're probably better off that you don't know. But you didn't hear it the way I did when it's, hi, guys. It's like, hi, guys. Hi, guys. It was like, it was weird. It was so weird. Now I can hear it's coming from me. Before Jimmy and you could not hear it. He thought it was one of the kids. Then we realized one of the kids was not here. None of the kids were here at that time. Okay? So he goes, it sounds like Ethan trying to be funny. But Ethan wasn't here. So, come on. It's like, hi, guys. Hi, guys. Hi, guys. It's so weird, and now I can't hear it anymore. I wish I would have recorded it. We are having a good time tonight. I don't know what we're doing because, but, you know, and I'd like one of those pro Carmelo people, come up here. Let me talk to you a minute, okay? You just want to close everybody out. You want your own freaking echo chamber, okay? But let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, and you tell me that the bleacher is Carmelo Anthony, okay? And you tell me that he's being beat up by 4 guys, okay? But he doesn't have a mark on him. And he doesn't say it. But you're telling me he was beat up by 4 guys. Okay? You know, and there's a lot of people on Twitter saying, you know, like, there's like, don't even waste your time. The people that are pro Carmelo Anthony, don't even, because they don't have the mental capacity. Don't even. Okay? Just don't even. If they're looking at that video, and you should see, the one guy is so freaking full of himself. He's so freaking full of it. He's going like this, look at this. Want me to rewind it again? Want me to rewind it again? Look at this. I got this. I got this. This is Mello. This is Mello. And I can't stand that name. That Mello. They think it's so cute. And he's a baby. Free Mello. Free Mello. Oh, please. Sorry. But you can engage with them. Because I typed something in his chat and boom, you're blocked. Because they cannot entertain anything other than an echo of what they're saying. I heard that strange voice every time you played it. Oh, so you did see, but I don't hear it anymore, Freebird. You hear it too? You hear it like it's not coming from me? Like it goes, hi guys, like while I'm talking? I don't. All I heard was a weird noise. I didn't hear hi guys. Yeah, it's changing. It was so clear before Murder. It was so clear. It was hi guys. And because Jimmy's like, let me listen to it. But now it's not it's not hi guys anymore to me. It's not, I'm not hearing it anymore. Yeah, you know what, B Lady, I don't know. I just think that, I don't know. It's really bad. It's so bad. Like, it's almost like a Saturday Night Live thing where, like, I'd like to get the video and be like, oh my gosh, you guys, do you see it? Do you see this? Listen, there's 10 guys. Carmelo just got jumped by 10 guys. If I put that out, they'd all be in here. They'd all be in here going, oh my gosh, you see that? Yes, look, 10 guys. 10 guys. Oh my gosh, 10 guys just jumped him. Oh no, he didn't get a fair trial. 10, look, do you see it? Watch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 12! 12 guys jumped him. Look, look. Right? They'd be here eating it up. Did you see that? That lady over there, okay? She just showed how 12 people jumped Carmelo. She just showed it. Go over there. She'll show it again. Hurry up. Hurry up. Then they'd unblock me, right? If I say, right? Look, right there. See? No, quick, let me slow it down a minute. See it? That's what they're doing. It's so crazy. They're saying he got jumped by 4 guys. Yeah, it's just crazy. And they just believe everything. And they're like, oh my gosh, can you send that? Can you send that to the DA? Our baby's coming home. Our baby's coming home. He's got an army out here. He's got an army. It is so crazy. I don't want anybody to think like me, but I want them to see the facts. That's all. See the facts. They don't have to think like me, but don't take what's in front of you and say it's something else, like the emperor has no clothes, right? Don't take something that's black and white and say it's lime green, and fuchsia. That's what I'm saying. They don't have to think like me, but don't tell people that they're seeing something they're not. And I don't think many of them have ever watched a real trial because they don't know very much about how the legal system works. And they say a lot of stuff that's not true about a lot of different things other than just the video. I don't know, B-Lady. Well, yeah, I mean, I saw it. There was a channel, and yeah, the guy was black, and he said, don't. He said, don't even. He goes, don't even go there with these people. They do not have the IQ to handle this. They don't. He goes, as much as I want to say I'm done with it, he goes, I'm really probably not done with it because, I mean, he goes, so, like as if it's so laughable, you just have to look at what these people are telling themselves. But he said, but you can't. You can't think you're going to reason with these people because they don't have the mental capacity to handle it. That's what he said. They're delusional. They know he's guilty, but how else can they make money? Yeah, and they act like they're not making money on it. That's what I really like. You know what I mean? It's all about the money. Right. And a lot of them are raising money, and now they're doing it in secret. So, you don't know, when they're raising money, a little for me, a little for you, a little for them. Who knows what they're doing? Who knows? But I was just watching this guy rewind this video over and over and over and say, like, no, those aren't the bleachers. That's Mello. That's Mello right there. Some of these folks have PhDs and have high position jobs. They have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, and they know how to hype up that followers to keep the money rolling in. Well, I don't know about their PhDs. I don't know about that. And their high position jobs. But they know how to keep the money rolling in. I saw that the politician, the one that what was her name? Jasmine? She's a lawyer. She's a lawyer, and she believes Carmelo's innocent. Yeah, I've seen that. But she doesn't have a channel. She's just a soundbite on TMZ, I think it is. And going around and saying that he's innocent. Yeah. A lot of women attorneys in the group. Really? That's scary. That is scary. That's very scary. Because the one I was listening to today, she kept saying, well, I didn't see this, or I wasn't there, or I didn't do that, but I heard. Come on. Are you herding sheep? You don't go and, if you're going to say somebody's innocent or not, you go and you find out yourself with the evidence. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible that they're doing that. I don't know. I mean, it's just so nuts. It really, somebody said, who said it? Someone said, where did I see that? Someone said someone should follow this and the psychology of this and how, what did they call, they said, the guy said it was, well, it's kind of like, okay, it's kind of like in those videos that I made where people say, if all of us are saying it, it has to be true, right? And I've showed you that no, it doesn't. Okay, and that's what these drama channels do on YouTube. If all of us say, you know, this person is this, then that's what that person is. No, it's not, right? And I've talked about that. But that's what I heard this woman say. She goes, well, you know, we heard the co-host say it, and now these two women said it, so it must be true. Because there's no way all these people saw the same thing and it's not true. And I just was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to hit my head against the wall. But what did the guy called it? Synchronized stupidity or, no, selective stupidity. That's what he said. It's selective stupidity. And you're not going to get through to these people. That you know what? You don't need facts. You just can have a lot of people saying the same thing. Hi, Tree Dog. What does Tree Dog say? Should I believe them? Or am I lying? Go watch the video. Yeah, I mean, the video shows you. And you know what? You only hear Carmelo Anthony. I think he should have got a longer sentence. Me too. He had the chance of getting out while still young. His victim doesn't get another chance of life. No, he doesn't. That's sad, B lady. That's a sad thing. But yeah, that's sad. But yeah, it's just and you can't, like, it comes up in my feed and then I just have to say something to these people. And a lot of them, you have to be a subscriber for a long time. Of course, I unsubscribed because I do not want to be subscribed to anything like that. But a few of them today had 40 minutes and a minute. So I did it, but I got blocked right away. Whose favorite drink? Me? Whose favorite drink? I'd rather have a milkshake than an alcoholic beverage. Want to know the truth? That's the truth. I'm high on life. I am. Okay, let me see. Hi, Tree Dog. So, what was I going to say? Yeah, so I got in trouble with groups today, and it's okay. It's all right. Did anybody ever watch Maternal Instinct on Netflix? Ow, what's boring? My middle name should be Justice. I don't know. It's just crazy. Boring. Maternal Instinct is about the woman who cut Taylor Parker, who cut the baby out of Hancock. What is it? Megan Hancock? What's her first name? Why am I blanking on her first name? Is it Megan Hancock? And while her 3-year-old was there in the house, and then drove with the baby and said she had it, but she had a hysterectomy, so she wasn't even able to carry an infant to term or get pregnant. Yeah. You only drink when you're alone or with somebody, like always, right? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's see if there's anything going on, because it seems really boring right now out there in the boaters go ballistic after the Coast Guard. What did they do? They closed the Potomac and the Anacostia rivers for the 4th of July. Okay. Cosplaying. Angelina Jolie's 17-year-old daughter was cosplaying poverty. What does that even mean? State of emergency declared in LA as a warehouse fire spews dangerous smoke across the city. Oh. Hey, Scooter, the family where 12 children slowly lost control. Isn't that the one you made me watch where they were all getting schizophrenia? Tom Brady. He got divorced from his wife that he had that, because I know he had a baby around the time we had Ethan. I thought his kid was older than Ethan. How is he just graduating now? They got divorced? That's how much I follow that. So Taylor Parker, yeah, they say, well, you know, she's on death row, but somebody's saying she's not going to. Let me see what. What is? I just want to see what. Remember what that woman's that she cut the baby out. What was her first name? Reagan. Reagan. Say Megan Reagan. Reagan. I don't. Let me see. Taylor Parker candidly discussed her crime and charges. In February of 2025, she spoke to the New Yorker about the case and admitted she initially didn't believe the charges. I told myself, you didn't do what they said. It's lies. My realization came when I had to face the autopsy photos. She opened up about her life behind bars, said she's come to terms with it. And this is what she said, and I quote, "It's the hardest thing to admit, but I do not believe in going home for myself. My place is here. I stand firm on the belief you do not deserve to have something you took from another. That's part of the acknowledgement and acceptance process on the road to redemption." You're on the road to execution. There's another woman that did that, and I think she was in Indiana or something. She was either put to death or she's due to be put to death in the fall. Isn't that true? And whatever happened to that other woman, remember the one that had happened in 2019? She got somebody from Craigslist or something, and she cut the baby out with like the help of her boyfriend and her daughter or something. Whatever happened to her? How come we don't hear about her? Let's see. How many women have been convicted of I know there's been some like way back in the day, like, okay. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, there have been 24 documented cases of fetal abduction since 1974. Okay, so we have Taylor Parker, we know about that. Then Clarissa and Desiree Figueroa, Illinois, 2024, a mother and daughter convicted Oh, wait. And what about the one that was just happened? That was that mother, remember? How come they don't have him in here? Remember the mother? She was like estranged, the adoptive mother or something. The one guy was with like everyone in the family. Remember that one? That was recently. Oh, but they say Clarissa and Desiree Figueroa, a mother and daughter convicted for the 20. Oh, this is that one. The 2019 murder of 19-year-old Marlon Ochoa Lopez, whom they lured to their house under the guise of giving away baby clothes. Remember? Illinois. Both pled guilty to murder charges, with Clarissa sentenced to 50 years in prison. How come they didn't get the death sentence? Well, Clarissa is... Yeah, but what about the other ones? We're going to look at that. Then Dynel Lane, Colorado, 2016, convicted of attempted murder and unlawful termination of a pregnancy for attacking a 7-month-old pregnant woman who responded to Craigslist ad for baby clothes. Lane received a 100-year prison sentence. Why is she convicted of attempted murder? Kimmy Hardy, the Missouri's in the 2000s, convicted of first-degree murder, kidnapping, and child stealing for luring a pregnant woman under the pretense of sharing baby clothes, fatally shot her, taking her baby. She is serving life in prison without the possibility of parole. Lisa Montgomery, this is the one I think that's scheduled to be executed. Missouri, 2007, convicted of federal kidnapping resulting in the death for strangling an expectant mother and cutting the unborn child from her womb. Montgomery was sentenced to death and executed by the U.S. government in January of 2021. Wait, she already was executed? I don't think that's correct. I don't think that's correct. I think she's due to be executed, isn't that? Hold on. And I think that's the one, because there's another one where the mother finds her daughter that I didn't think was Reagan Hancock's mother. There's another one. Let me see. Let me look. Lisa Montgomery. I don't think she's been executed yet. I think she's going to be executed. Lisa Montgomery. Okay, Lisa Montgomery. Inmate number, her offense date 2004. Inmate Montgomery assaulted and murdered a pregnant woman in her home in Nodaway County, Missouri. Montgomery strangled the victim with a rope and used a kitchen knife to cut the victim's abdomen and remove the fetus. She then fled the area in her vehicle, taking the baby with her, and attempted to pass it off as her own. Montgomery subsequently confessed to murdering the pregnant woman and abducting the child. On October 22, 2007, a jury in the U.S. District Court for the Western District of Missouri found Montgomery guilty of federal kidnapping and resulting in the death, and unanimously recommended a death sentence, which the court imposed. Sentence on April 4th, 2008. But there's another one. But it says current age, 52, race white, female. Oh, hold on. Bobby Joe Stinnett. That's who she murdered, right? I don't think she's been executed yet, has she? She met Bobby Joe Stinnett at a dog show. Yeah, okay, they did execute. U.S. executes only woman on federal death row. They executed her in 2021. Okay, but there's another woman that's due to be executed in the fall, and I think it's for the same thing. Yeah, she was pronounced dead at 1:31 a.m. after receiving a lethal and terre haute. And I think that always makes me think about Captain Lee fan. I hope you're doing okay. Okay. Kansas woman was executed Wednesday for strangling an expectant mother in Missouri and cutting the baby from her womb, the first time in nearly 70 years that the U.S. has put to death a female inmate. Lisa Montgomery was 52. She was pronounced dead at 1:31 a.m. after receiving a lethal injection at the federal prison complex in Terre Haute, Indiana. Terre Haute. Is it Haute? Terre Haute. Terre Haute. Isn't it? It's H-A-U-T, but I think they say Terre Haute. Terre Haute. She was the 11th prisoner to receive a lethal injection there since July. A curtain was raised in the execution chamber. Montgomery looked momentarily bewildered as she glanced at journalists peering at her from behind thick glass. As the execution process began, a woman standing over Montgomery's shoulder leaned over gently. She removed Montgomery's face mask and asked if she had any last words. No. Montgomery responded in a quiet, muffled voice. She said nothing else. She tapped her fingers nervously for several seconds. A heart-shaped tattoo on her thumb showed no signs of distress and quickly closed her eyes. As the lethal injection began, Montgomery kept licking her lips and gasped briefly as pentobarbital, a lethal drug, entered her body through IVs on both arms. A few minutes later, her midsection throbbed for a minute but quickly stopped. Montgomery lay on a gurney in the pale green execution chamber, her glasses on and her grayish-brown hair spilling over a green medical pillow. At 1:30 a.m., an official in black gloves and with a stethoscope walked into the room. He listened to her heart and chest, and then he walked out. She was pronounced dead a minute later. Let's see. Montgomery's attorney said the craven bloodlust of a failed administration was on full display tonight. Everyone who participated in the execution of Lisa Montgomery should feel shame. The government stopped at nothing in its zeal to kill this damaged and delusional woman. And he said that Lisa Montgomery's execution was far from justice. Okay. Now, that's her, but there's a Tennessee woman that's due to be executed. Let's see. So she is done. Bobby Jo Stinnett. That might be her mother that found. Let me see. How was... she was, what did I say, 52. So she would be 57 now. Okay. Bobby Jo Stinnett found. Let's see if her mother found her. Bobby Jo Stinnett, yep, she was found by her mother too. Just that, see, it's very similar to Reagan Hancock, I believe. Bobby Jo Stinnett was discovered dead on December 16, 2004 by her mother in a pool of blood inside her Skidmore, Missouri home. Stinnett had been strangled with a rope and her womb had been slashed. But what happened to that baby? Because I think almost every one of them I heard, the baby never survives. Lisa Montgomery had communicated with Stinnett through online message boards and dog shows, as both women raised rat terriers. Under the guise of buying a puppy, Montgomery traveled to Stinnett's Missouri home and attacked her. I wonder if she took the puppy too. She probably did. The investigation, investigators quickly tracked Montgomery by examining Stinnett's online dog breeding community and identifying who planned to visit her that day. An Amber Alert was quickly issued, allowing authorities to find Montgomery at her home in Malvern, Kansas, just a day after the murder. Montgomery had attempted to pass the newborn off as her own, but the baby, that baby survived, named Victoria Joe, was safely recovered and returned to her father. So that's, I think, one of the only ones that I know that. Montgomery was subsequently convicted of federal kidnapping, resulting in death, and was executed in January of 2021. Okay, now, because there's something about a sweater. I just remember that, but if there's something that you remember, okay. Now, apparently, okay, let me see here. There's got to be, let me see. Woman in Tennessee, execution. Yeah, I knew it. There's a woman in Tennessee to be executed. Crystal Gale Pike is the only woman on Tennessee's death row and is scheduled to be executed September 30th, 2026. If carried out, she will be the first woman executed in Tennessee in more than 200 years. Okay. In 1995, Pike, who was 18 years old at the time, along with two accomplices, tortured and murdered 19-year-old Colleen Slemmer, a fellow Knoxville Job Corps student. Wow, the Job Corps. She was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to death. Okay, this does not have to do with the baby. This has to do with something else. Okay. Her then-boyfriend, to Darrell Shipp, was 17 at the time of the murder. Because of his age, he was exempt from the death penalty and he got life. Pike filed a lawsuit against the state, arguing that Tennessee's lethal injection protocol, which uses pentobarbital, could cause flash pulmonary edema. Because she has a blood clotting condition, she claims this could cause her lungs to fill with bloody, frothy fluid, constituting cruel and unusual punishment. She also cited her Buddhist belief, objecting to a requirement that forces her to plead an alternative execution method. Under state law, offenders who committed capital crimes before January 1st, 1999 retain the right to request the electric chair. You would want the electric chair as an alternative to lethal injection. Wow. Okay, but then there was, so that Lisa lady was executed for this. You've got now Taylor Parker, she's on death row for taking the baby. What about, do you remember the case that was recently where the mother cut the baby out of the daughter, the baby didn't survive? Let's see. In the case of fetal abduction where a baby is violently cuffed in the mother's womb, the baby survives slightly less than half the time. According to the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, about 21 to 24 of these attacks have been recorded in the USA since 1987, with roughly 9 to 11 babies surviving. In 2015, a Colorado woman was hospitalized after her unborn baby was cut out of her womb, taken by a stranger, and she was released from the hospital. Michelle Wilkins, 26, of Longmont, Colorado, was attacked by a woman with a kitchen knife on March 18th when she responded to a Craigslist ad for baby clothes. Her baby, which she planned to name Aurora, did not survive. Wow, she survived that. A statement released Wednesday says she is out of the hospital in a safe location. She faces a long journey. I wonder if... Police say Dynell Lane, 34 years old, lured Wilkins to her home on March 18th with a Craigslist ad offering baby clothes. She then beat and stabbed Wilkins, removed the unborn child. Lane was arrested at a hospital after telling her husband she suffered a miscarriage. Wilkins had recently moved to Colorado and was teaching pottery classes and was about 8 months pregnant. Well, I can't even believe that lady survived that. And then they say, let me see here. Miracle child cut from womb, still beating the odds 18 years after mom's murder. Okay, so we've gone through that now. Okay, let me go back here. You love the beer. I'll murder these people are drinkers. Who? But I don't want to hurt the little kids. Wait, these are drinkers, but I don't want to warn the little kids up either. They are drinkers, but I don't want to want the kids up either. Wake them up, Scooter. But the mix, who's there? I'm thinking of going to the kitchen and making another one. Who's there with you? And Dave's family is out there sleeping. Dave's family is out there sleeping? Do you have to put it in the blender? Can't you shake it or something? So yeah, about that. You know, I tried a Dubai chocolate that Ethan and I bought at the store the other day, and you know the Dubai chocolate that Gia and Michael made was better than that. So now I'm going to get the ingredients to make my own. You're killing me, Carolyn. Well, I didn't know that there's people sleeping in your living room. Bring the blender in your bedroom, in your bathroom. Don't you have a bathroom in your... Get the blender and bring it in your bathroom and blend it up in there. Unplug it. Carry it in the bathroom. And go blend it up. Go ahead, Scooter. Go blend it up. What? Go ahead. Take the blender in the bathroom. Take the blender outside. Don't you have outdoor outlets? Take the blender outside. They just don't want you around. Of course, I thought you were just with Dave's family. Weren't you just with them when you fell? You're spending a lot of together time with Dave's family this year. I had a really weird dream about my cousin Lorenzo. Some kind of a plane crash, and he was on it, but he survived. And then I was like, Lorenzo, how was that plane crash? Oh my gosh, I can't believe you survived. And we had him in the car, and I'm like, Lorenzo was in a plane crash, but he survived. They're watching this. Yeah, they're watching. They're watching. Then they'll know what Scooter said about them. Where's Dave? Is Dave asleep? To Scooter, didn't you say someone was laying... Oh, Dave, probably her husband Dave was lying beside her. He doesn't wake up for anything. She thinks Dave is asleep beside her. No, he's asleep. Dave is next to her. Dave is asleep next to her. Yeah. How many people do you have over, Scooter? You're partying it up over there, huh? No, she's not driving, Tree Dog. She's in for the night. She's going to take that scooter on a little ride, a little excursion. She's going to take the scooter on a little ride. Take it around the block with the reborn baby on the back. She probably has a house full of combos. She says they're in the living room. Do you like reborn babies, Bee Lady? Her sister does. Her sister has them. She had one with no name. Then I gave him a name and she started to use the name. Scooter she likes creepy babies. What is that other girl's name? The one that you always pull out. What was her name? His sister Sherry, her son Jeremy, and his wife Cecily, and then their kids, 4 kids. Wow, that's a full house you have. Wait a minute. Sherry, her son Jeremy, his wife Cecily. That's 3, 4 kids. You have 8 people there? Wow. Full house. One Christmas, your husband got you a black reborn baby, and you tickle her feet, and she moves them. Was that by Ashton Drake? That's a house full. She's got a whole house full over there, doesn't she? That's a real house full. Look at this little silicone baby bee lady. Hi, bee lady. Yes, and yeah, I think I know the one you're talking about. Tickle, tickle. They have been cooking actually. Actually. Oh, guess what Luke did today? All on his own. We have a bridge. That, I don't know, Jimmy built, I don't know when, because I think I have a video. Let me see something on my Mommy Ramblings channel. Let me see, my other Mommy Ramblings. Mommy Ramblings. I need the other Mommy Ramblings channel, please. Oh, I know how to get to it. Okay, this should be the Mommy Ramblings channel. Yes, it is Mommy Ramblings. No, this is this channel. No. Okay, I found it. Let me see if this has it on here. Yes, okay. I told Luke about it. I thought we were staining it at the time. Because there is pictures I have with him helping me stain this. Okay, but this bridge right here, This is funny. Because how old is Luke here? Luke is maybe 3. Let me see.
Yeah. Oh. Show me how the arm works. Show me how the shovel part works. Can you shoot? Good job. Yeah. And does it go back? Can you back it up? Yeah, wow. Oh, you thought you scared the doggy. All right, show me how it can go.
Okay, so
How about the music? Can you show me the music?
so anyway, the bridge that he's on was obviously just built because we didn't even have it stained there. I know I have pictures of us staining that with it. And but I knew there was something with Luke on this thing. Anyway, today Luke came home from he went what did he do? He went with his friend, and we saw in the Life's 360 they were at the Home Depot, and then Jimmy said he asked me something about 2x6s and this and that. Anyway, he comes home, he goes flying downstairs. What are you doing? Shh, don't say anything. I said, okay, I'm not going to say anything. He's going up with the screw gun stuff, and he goes, come here, come here. He pulls all this wood out of his car, and he says, because when they came up with the front, the zero-turn John Deere's and stuff, he said to go over that bridge, which you have to go over to then mow the back, the lower 40. No, the rest of the backyard. He's worried because those weigh a lot. They weigh even more than the Holy Grail John Deere tractor. So anyway, he said that there were 3 boards that were needed to be replaced, and then he was going to do it, and he was doing it for Father's Day. So he, all on his own, got the boards, and he replaced them on there. And I'm going to show him that video tomorrow. But I know there's one of us staining it too, but I think those might be just pictures or something where he was helping me with that. But yeah, I'm gonna have to show him that's what he replaced today. Isn't that nice? Isn't that special? What a good boy. They're going home tomorrow. Are you upset about that, or are you going to be like, oh, yes? Yeah, so that's funny, yeah. Isn't that nice, Scooter? Isn't he a nice boy? Jimmy goes, did you go take some videos of him? And I did. He's like, for Father's Day. They always, the last time at Father's Day, they brought the 4-stroke weed whackers home so they could get everything. But now the guy said, just take the zero, take the John Deeres. They come down with both of them and do them together. They get the yard done in like 10 minutes. It's crazy. You're falling asleep? What are you doing? What are you doing for Father's Day? Oh yeah, I hope your hubby has a nice Father's Day. I was like, I can't believe it's Father's Day, but then yeah, I was today was my mother's birthday. I was totally discombobulated. I'm telling you, totally discombobulated. I'm like, June 20th, it's my mother's birthday and it's Roman's birthday. And I'm like, what the? How did I? Then it's Father's Day too. Carolyn, I am looking for a picture of the teacup and flowers. Of the teacup and flowers I made. I know you could make one easily. What do you mean, the teacup and flowers? How you made it from what, bee lady? Out of what though? Did you crochet it? Or is it paper? What is it? Guys, they really are such nice young boys, men, seriously. Oh, wait a minute. With like real teacups? Yeah, you should show me because I have a surplus of stuff like that. I have 2 full sets of china, bee lady, that are not like my china, like china that 2 full sets. So that would be, so there's a fountain. Yeah, you'll have to show it to me. You will have to show it to me. I know Sandy was doing something like that. Oh, yeah, I don't want to break up those sets. But I have some other stuff. But what am I going to do with those 2 sets of full china? Do you know why? Bee lady, I'll have to tell you one day why. Yeah, I have a lot of teacups. I do. I have teacups too. Okay. Bye. See you later. So long. Let me see something here. Where the heck? How did I just get to Mommy Ramblings? That was the, I just wanted to see which one was the, thought I had the one where the kids, I think I have those pictures where it's crazy where, They got the cake pops that I made, and they were. That's why I've never the red velvet cake. It looked like a mob hit. It's crazy. But I think those are just like pictures I took of that craziness. I thought I had a somewhere I have the this Easter egg video that's just crazy. I think I've shown it on here, but I have to go find it another time. But anyway, yeah. What else is going on? There's really not a lot going on. Father's Day tomorrow. I think we're gonna go out to eat, and I don't know. I have to look up to buy. I told my son, send me the list of the ingredients you got for the Dubai chocolate, because whatever he had was really good quality and it tasted great. And that's all there now. What was I going to say about something else? Oh, today was like, what do you want to do today? Oh, I think I'm just going to take a quick drive down to Edistone. Okay. Now, where are you guys? I can't find the chat. Must be here. Okay, this is off topic, but I was just wondering, when you covered Clancy before. Clancy, wait a second. Don't even say it now. Clancy, I know Clancy. Wait a second. What was that? Was that a baby one? Wait a second. Clancy. Clancy is, hold on a minute, because don't even, because now I feel like I'm losing my mind, Mr. Boo. Because Clancy, believe it or not, there's a family here with the last name Clancy. And every time I cover whatever case you were talking about that I can't think right now, I always think about Clancy. And I think about that Clancy. That family. And I'm like, no, it can't be them. The trial coming up. Wait, okay, I'm losing it now. No, I've got to get it back. Don't say another word. Do not say another word about it. Not Clancy Clenny. Is that, are you talking about the one that killed her boyfriend in the elevator? But there's another Clancy that we just said something about. That's the one I want to, hold on a minute. Clancy. We just talked about another Clancy. Yeah, you covered it. You searched and found 2 to 3 videos. Okay. Are you talking about Clancy, the OnlyFans lady? But why do I just have another thing about Clancy? Because that name... Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on. Now I'm freaking out. Now between that and hi guys, now I'm freaking out. I'm going to go admit myself tonight. Come on. Hold on. Clancy, because Lindsay. Oh, yes. Okay. No, I'm not going crazy. Okay. The Massachusetts woman. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh boy. Lindsay Clancy. Yes. July 20th is her trial. Okay. Whew. It was right there because I remember that, see, this Clancy name is a really, really big name in the town, one of the towns that surround me. And every time I'm hearing it, I'm always thinking Clancy about these people and thinking, like, could they have any relation to these Clancys? But I don't know why. I just blanked out on that. That is scary to me. And then everybody would say, my friend would say, oh, don't do that to yourself, Carolyn. You have so much on your mind. You're not losing it. Okay, Lindsay Clancy. That's scary to me. Oh my gosh, that is so scary that I just blanked on that. Okay, yes, and I found a lot of information the other night, and I think I went over it for hours. Do you have a question on it that I could answer now that it's fresh in my mind again? Oh my gosh. You want to get caught up on that. You want to get caught up on that. First time I heard about it was the other night. Okay. Well, I can tell you that she is an OB. She was a labor and delivery nurse in a Massachusetts hospital, right? And then she had a baby. She had 3 babies, pretty close in succession. And her husband worked from home. And then she suffered from bits of anxiety and postpartum depression and stuff with the kids, but it was, never debilitating that she couldn't return to work, and she did return to work. And then when she had Callan, the last baby, she extended her maternity leave because she wasn't feeling like she could return to work. And so then it happened that in December of 2022, it was, right, that she started to get bad to the point that she ended up admitting herself to, she was in a psychiatric ward at a hospital, but then the doctor couldn't see her for a number of days, and then her daughter's birthday, which was December 24th, they were having a party. It was like January 7th or something, so she wanted to get out. I did cover it when it happened, yeah. You want to get, and then what happened is she ended up, the husband was working from home, and she texted him throughout the day. She actually went to a doctor's appointment with her 5-year-old who didn't feel good that day. She came home, she made a snowman with the 5-year-old and the 3-year-old, and she sent pictures and messages about that to both her husband and her mother. Her husband said that Lindsay had the best day, the day that she murdered the children. And he even said to her, how did you sleep? And she said, good. She had expressed some apprehension about going back to work because now she was going to be going back to work. But anyway, she texted her husband and she said, oh, I didn't get to cook anything tonight. Do you want to go to 3V's? And 3V's was this restaurant that, as you will hear from people in Duxbury, which is an affluent town in Massachusetts, that there are so many restaurants. Why would she choose 3V's? It was a certain distance away, and then send him to a CVS to get a children's medicine. And he was gone from the house. I think it was 53 minutes total, with both ways. And when he got back, the house was very quiet. And he immediately went to the master bedroom. The master bedroom was locked. So then he got the door open. When he got the door open, he saw that the window was open. It was January. The window was open and there was blood on by the windowsill, and I think there was some blood on the floor. And then he looked down. He saw her on the ground. She had jumped out of the 2-story window after trying to slice her neck and slice her wrists. So he's down there with her calling 911, and then he's like, "Where are the kids? Where are the kids?" And she's like, "In the basement." So while he's on the phone, and it's horrific, he goes down to the basement, finds the kids dead. And by the time he does that, the police are at the house. So he's screaming. The police come in and he says she killed them. Okay. And then she took the resistance bands, the yoga resistance bands, and had them tied around each child's neck. But see, that whole scenario, I guess the defense is trying to say that she just tied them tight and left. Okay, so that she literally did not have to, strangulation could take 4 minutes, right? Something like that, that she didn't physically hold those for 4 minutes on each child. But they say by the way he quickly untied them or got them off the necks that they weren't tied like that. And they think that she literally sat there with each child and did that for 4 minutes. And so then, but he has stood by her. Now, there are some kind of crazy rumors coming out about things. I don't know, I just ran into that the other night. Things about his sexuality or something. Was there problems there? You know what I'm saying? And I haven't looked into that far, but it's a lot of people, yes, sympathize with her, but there are also a lot of people that don't. And they feel that they're not being truthful about the extent of her paralysis. Is she paralyzed at all? Why does she always look like she's in an almost catatonic state? Why did she wake up? And, right, do I need to get an attorney? Why didn't she wake up and ask about her children? There's a lot of things with this case. And so while there's a lot of people that want to give her a lot of sympathy who have gone through postpartum depression or postpartum psychosis, there's a lot of people that don't feel that that is what caused this. It's interesting to you? Yeah. So, I mean, I will definitely cover the trial, and I believe the trial will be, I hope it will be live streamed. I mean, I'll try to find out about that. But, yeah, it's just, it's upsetting. I mean, of course, it's upsetting. She took the lives of 3 little children. And I don't know. It's something. It's to go through all that, all those pregnancies, and then you kill your child. I just don't even. Cannot even fathom that. I really can't. But But, you know, and I was just thinking about something about her. Hold on a minute. Let me see if that's going to be cameras in the courtroom. Let's see. It should be, because there's been up to this point. Okay, let's see. Lindsay is very strong, and she's not one to shy away from. She takes responsibility. She has, as the kids say, she owns it, says her attorney, Kevin Reddington. During the hearing that just took place on Thursday, prosecutors asked to use photos of Lindsay Clancy's children, both alive and after their deaths, when presenting their case to the jury. The judge ruled the graphic images from the autopsies will be allowed in. I wouldn't want anyone to be in there to have to look at gruesome photos of little babies slaughtered, cut up, and butchered, and autopsies, but that's what they want, says Reddington. The judge also agreed to admit the frantic 911 call from Clancy's then husband. So now why do they say Clancy's then husband? Did they get divorced? Because he stood by her, I thought. Hold on. When he came home and discovered his wife had harmed herself and jumped out the window, you can hear him relaying information to the 911 operators. They're asking about her injuries. He says she has cuts on her wrists and neck. The judge ruled to let the jury view the family home, which became a crime scene after the children's deaths. He said he would also make calls on the prosecutor's request for a physical demonstration in the courtroom about blood spatter at a later time. I'm still looking into whether I can have her not be in the courtroom during that, because everyone who knows this case knows what the evidence is, but they're just going to put in a dog and pony show, Reddington said. There will be one more hearing before the trial. It's underway on July 20th. It's expected to last approximately 4 to 6 weeks. Well, but let me see. What do we say here? Then husband. Let's see. Okay, it's weird because Patrick Clancy, the husband, so why did they say her then husband? That doesn't even make sense unless they... Because he has a lawsuit now. Husband of Lindsay Clancy is suing his wife's doctors. Okay. Find you a wheelchair. See, but just there's so much controversy about me see here. So, prosecutors want to probe whether Lindsay Clancy tied rubber bands, exercise bands, around the necks of her children and walked away again, or if she, because again, that's one thing they want to say. Was she sitting there with her 3 children? I mean, it's going to be a very, how will her emotions be, you know, because she looks like she's drugged, like catatonic, but then you caught that smile. So let's see. Okay, let me see here. So they say, you know, comparing her to Andrea Yates is crazy because Andrea Yates was living in a 350 square foot bus until her 5th child was born. She had a long history of mental illness and had 5 children in 7 years. Children were homeschooled, and the family belonged to a Christian cult that emphasized motherhood. After her 4th child, Andrea Yates began to experience psychotic episodes where she couldn't speak. She asked for help. Andrea made a serious suicide attempt as opposed to Lindsay. She was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Andrea's husband characterized her mental health as a refusal to accept salvation. After Andrea was discharged due to the end of insurance coverage, she tried to slit her throat because she was worried she would hurt her kids. She heard voices. She was diagnosed with postpartum psychosis, which is much more dangerous than PPD. And after a period of recovery, Andrea gave birth and her father died. She became psychotic. She stopped eating, drinking, and speaking. She was terrified of hurting the baby. Her husband talked her out of involuntary commitment. She became catatonic. After 12 days of voluntary treatment, she came home. She heard voices saying she had to send the children to paradise, and she drowned them in no chronological order, with her 7-year-old being last. And then she called the police and said it's time. Okay. Two new lawsuits paint a picture in terrifying detail of how the health system failed Lindsay Clancy and her family. Lindsay Clancy says she's willing to admit, to role in her children's death with conditions. Lindsay Clancy says she's willing to admit to her role in the deaths of her children with conditions. The defense is asking the judge to reconsider their request to separate the trial into 2 parts. In March, the judge denied the initial request. Clancy has appeared in court in recent hearings. According to court filings, there was a difference of opinion whether both sides were willing to stipulate the facts of the case. prosecution was not willing to agree to that, wanting the jury to hear the facts of the case. Defense attorney Kevin Reddington wants the jury to focus on whether Clancy suffered from postpartum psychosis at the time. In this motion, Reddington says Clancy is willing to stipulate formally in writing to her involvement in the underlying conduct resulting in the death of her 3 young children. Reddington also indicated the facts of the case, including whether or not Clancy strangled her children, should not be an issue up for debate for the jury. The district attorney objected to the renewed request for the 2-stage trial. Prosecutors agreed the judge's decision that the jury should hear the details of what happened. Clancy's accused of strangling the 3 children, who were then 8 months old, 3 years old, and 5 years old, with exercise bans in January of 2023, and it is alleged she did so while her husband was picking up dinner and medications. Clancy became paralyzed after a suicide attempt and has spent 3 years in a state hospital. Someone said, why are people more sympathetic to Lindsay Clancy than Andrea Yates? Someone said, well, I saw some of those screenshots. I saw a lot of women who have a lot of anxiety. She was in a ton of parenting groups, and they were the more intensive type of parenting groups. Attachment parenting, crunchy mom type groups in sleep training, pro-nursing for at least 1 to 2 years, cloth diapering, delay solid foods, that kind of thing. It's ridiculously high standard and dirty secret. No one there is meeting it anyway. They're a bunch of liars and fakes. And 22-year-olds on baby daddy number 2 with 3 kids living in a trailer in Tennessee. But it seemed like Lindsay was so deep in her own anxiety that she didn't even realize it. She still ultimately bears responsibility for herself, and she isn't going to walk away free, nor should she, but the anxiety in her post was so evident. She was incredibly high-strung, probably difficult to be around. Let's see something, so... Someone said, a nurse practitioner here, I'm really struggling to wrap my mind around this case because I find either scenario deeply unsettling. Either a seemingly normal, educated UMC mom was able to fool her family, friends, and colleagues into believing she was a loving, caring person while deep down being a evil psychopath, or she was legit a loving mom who in a moment of psychosis killed the children she otherwise loved. If it's the former, it's particularly surprising. It seems like generally there is a motive, an affair, financial troubles, etc., and maybe even prior instances of controlling or violent behavior that precipitates these family annihilators. But this seems so out of the blue. If it's the latter, it's terrifying because it basically means that anyone, particularly new moms, are a ticking time bomb. And it makes you question the essence of who we are as humans. If something like that, changes in hormones or brain chemistry and or medication, can change something as fundamental as a parent's love of their children, either way, this case haunts me. Okay, this says, Andrea Yates' husband says, paralyzed midwife mom with postpartum shouldn't be prosecuted. The ex-husband of Andrea The mother who drowned herself. Okay, let me see. He says women who suffer with postpartum depression should not face criminal prosecution because it's a sickness. If I were driving our Suburban down the street and had a heart attack and swerved into oncoming traffic and everyone in the car died but me, would they prosecute me for capital murder and rub my face in the crime scene photos of my children? I don't think so. But to me, it's 100% exactly the same. Yates went on to explain how the psychosis had been explained to him by psychiatrists is much like having a dream or nightmare overlaid on reality so that the person sees things that aren't real. They hear voices that aren't real. They believe things to be true that aren't real, and they act on that. It's every bit a part of their reality as everything else. They can't distinguish between those thoughts and images and voices or anything else, he said, explaining the psychosis that overtook his wife. Andrea was a wonderful mother. When someone acts so out of character like that, it's a flag that something else is going on. As far as forgiveness goes, it's kind of the start. If something is completely out of character, this can't be right. At the time, I did not know that she'd been psychotic. I did not know what psychosis even was or what the symptoms were. He also rejected the idea that husbands or partners can protect the children from harm, saying, you can do all you can do, but you really can't protect yourself from a psychotic person at home. They can get up in the middle of the night and light the house on fire or poison everyone. The next step of forgiveness for other people, I'd say, is understanding it's a sickness that, but for her sickness, she would never, ever, ever have harmed our children. Andrea was found guilty of capital murder and was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole following the 2001 death of her children. The verdict was overturned following appeals from her lawyers, and at a new trial in 2006, she was found not guilty of murder by reason of insanity. The following year, she was sent to Kerrville State Hospital, where she has remained ever since. Every year she's eligible for review to determine whether she should be released. She waives that review, choosing instead to stay in treatment. In 2015, she and Rusty finalized their divorce. Her only conditions were that she would be given the right to be buried near her children and that she receive a nursing chair she used when the kids were alive and young. Let's see here. Okay, here they're talking about Lindsay now. She self-presented at McLean, stating that she was afraid of hurting herself. At one point prior to January, she had told her husband that she had thoughts of harming the children. She resented so much. The McLean doctors did not come up with a psychosis diagnosis. In fact, the word was not uttered by Lindsay until 10 days after everything occurred. During the same conversation, she told her husband she still loves him. She sounds like a master manipulator. It feels awfully convenient. Where she was treated by the best doctors at multiple health systems, psychosis never came up, but now it's oh well. She could have been PPP, but not yet diagnosed. It feels like a literal get out of jail free excuse to me. I will grant you have to be not in your right mind to do what she did. But can't you say that for anyone who commits a horrible crime? We still punish those people. Plenty of school shooters have severe mental health issues, well beyond generalized anxiety disorder. Report hearing voices, the Parkland shooter for one, with horrible home lives, extenuating circumstances, but they don't walk free. Why is it different for Lindsay? Someone said, I think we're missing each other here and are more in agreement than you may think. I don't think in any reality, really given the severity of these horrific crimes, that Lindsay will not be held very accountable for her crimes, no matter what her mental state. I'm not sure why folks assume that arguing this was not a manipulation or plotted means. I don't think she has to be accountable for them. Like you said, most crimes are committed by someone who is at a minimum desperate or distressed. I guess we just disagree on what prompted the crime. Her mental illness that was likely temporary and brought on by postpartum changes, or a more personality disorder based issue, which is what it sounds like you think. I don't see the evidence of that at this point, and I've engaged a lot with folks with personality disorders. But of course, there is a ton of info we don't know yet. I just haven't seen the evidence in that direction. Somebody said, why would a master manipulator say either of those things months before committing these acts? It doesn't make sense. I have no idea why she did what she did. One of the first things she asks when waking up in the hospital is, do I need a lawyer? So she's too zonked to worry about the kids, but she can worry about herself. She calls Patrick Clancy to tell him that she loves him and expresses love, but doesn't express remorse for what she's done. None of it really makes sense. Someone said, I shared a similar story with my own mom a few pages back. I just don't know if there's any studies of surviving children of psychotic mothers, but my feelings about what happened are similar to the poster. I felt anger and sorrow at what happened, but I can't blame my mother because she truly was not in control of her mind or actions. And that lady is telling about her mother driving off a road, I think. Also, folks are acting like she needed those 30 to 45 minutes alone, and that's why she planned this whole thing intentionally. Again, that makes no sense to me. She was the primary caregiver. If you look at the timeline, she had plenty of time alone with the children. And if she was a master manipulator, why wouldn't she have planned better? This left zero chance she wouldn't be very clearly the killer. The whole argument makes no sense. If she was such a master and wanted a different life, why wouldn't she have planned it a tiny bit better? Also, folks are acting like they know the extent of what Lindsay has said over the last days because they've heard a few small sound bites. We know very little. Someone said, I'm withholding all judgment on this case until there's more details. Even then, there's a real family dealing with inconceivable loss, not daytime TV. However, I have seen the comments claiming Lindsay couldn't have been experiencing psychosis and that these murders must all have been premeditated acts of pure evil. Maybe that's true. Maybe it isn't. My mom is my best friend, my number one supporter and confidant, but when I was a teenager, she almost killed us both. My mom had always been anxious, but was generally mentally stable, a loving parent. She's the strongest person I knew and genuinely doesn't have a mean bone in her body. She's close with her now adult children, and overall just a very kind person until my brother died suddenly. One of the first unfortunate cases in Canada of death due to fentanyl contamination. He wasn't into hard drugs. No one saw it coming. My mother took it incredibly hard, but amazed everyone with the strength to keep living for me, who was a minor and still living at home. 5 months after his death, my mom suddenly seemed to be getting back to normal, as much as any mother could. She became obsessed with doing a house renovation. DIYing all the work herself. It all looked horrible, but she was so happy about her work that no one tried to stop her. She had energy again, she was productive, and she seemed to have things under control. Her zeal started to make me feel uncomfortable during the final week. She stayed up all night, painting rooms, laying flooring. She tried to drug me with benzos so that I wouldn't have to experience our car going over a cliff. Even though she seemed mostly normal, she was consumed by the urge to end our lives. She was convinced that if she left me alone and alive, that I wouldn't go to heaven with her and my brother, and instead I'd be trapped in those walls of our house, literally. She was convinced that there was an evil force in our walls, and that's why she was doing the renovations. Our car went off the road that day, but it was harder to drive off the cliff than my mom had thought, and we got stuck on the brush. She was admitted to the hospital because she tried to convince the EMTs and the cops that they needed to drive us over the cliff because the new sheetrock on the walls wasn't going to hold the devil for much longer. She didn't sound crazy. She sounded desperate, like she was pleading for our lives. It almost had me convinced that maybe she knew something I didn't. Point is, psychosis isn't always obvious. I fully believe my mom would have killed us that day because she truly believed it was our only option. Whatever the reason, I hope that the husband finds some way to continue on. Wow, that's some story there, huh? Whew. Somebody said it is apparently triggering for folks that some of us think Lindsay's documented mental illness may have escalated and played a role here. I truly don't understand why. Yet those folks are not showing any evidence that I see that shows the contrary, evidence of prior abuse, domestic violence in the home, neglect. Just that she Google mapped a takeout order. I literally did that last week for a new place I wanted my husband to pick up at. Our diagnostic system is limited. It is helpful and necessary and has limitations. We do not have a good diagnostic criteria for postpartum issues. It was obviously more than generalized anxiety disorder, or they would have hospitalized her, or they wouldn't have hospitalized her. That's not something someone ends up inpatient for. She had suicidal thoughts and thoughts of harming her children, thoughts that everyone who knew her is saying unequivocally was not aligned with how she typically is. You feel like I'm tying myself up in knots to defend her, but I feel like you're tying yourself in knots trying to convince yourself that this was in cold blood with very little evidence. The prosecution was making their case that she was not safe to leave, and that she committed this crime. Everyone agrees with that. There may be projection happening for me, sure, but there is for anyone who is also adamantly saying that they know it was in cold blood, despite a recent inpatient hospitalization for suicidal ideations, and the jump is huge. Let me go towards later, because that was happening, and this is still actually 2023. All right, I want to go to where Patrick moved to New York City. Let's see. Someone said, if anyone knew anything about psychology and losing your children, you would know that Patrick Clancy should be in jail. This man was not devoted, shocked, was not devoted. This man was not devoted, shocked. And the first thing he told the public is he promised to go find his purpose in life. He is all about him. His image perfect letter, ready to find his purpose. Forgive my wife. Dude, mine might as well said, I'm finally free and I'm going to get to move on. When you lose 3 kids, you're in shock. You can't write a letter that night, and the last thing you can think about is you. Your mind has to take weeks, not a night, and months to comprehend your 3 children are dead. As a parent, any parent you know, you lose your kids, it's humanly impossible to bounce back with the perfect letter and promise you're going to find your purpose in life. By saying that he admits his children and wife were not his purpose in life, and he isn't even phased, that man was not doting, because he would naturally be in shock, rage, grief, disbelief, and unable to understand, never mind promise he was now going to find his purpose in life. No one looked into him at all. Any psychiatrist or parent or human who has had a traumatic loss knows it's impossible for your brain to comprehend and process such a horrific thing. And never mind, keep the focus on you and you have the perfect statement ready. The man is guilty. I want to know why he wasn't immediately given a full psychiatric evaluation. From his actions and words, you can tell he was ready for this and ready to move on, and sick of his wife, sick of his kids and wife. He was irritated and relieved his family was gone, and that was his reaction, and ready to find his life's purpose. Was there any investigation on how he treated her, his personality type, because he was perfectly prepared, as if he had just rehearsed how he would handle it, and already at his note because he was perfectly prepared. The system is overlooking a very guilty person who should be in jail. What happened? How did he treat his wife and children like they were a burden? Because he sounded pretty excited to no longer be a father or husband, and had a written document so sane it's like he was waiting. He is definitely a guilty party by his letter behavior, and at least should be charged with manslaughter, homicide in the 2nd degree, and yet he walks free to go find his real purpose in life. Please forgive my wife, and then it's all about him. You lose your kids, and please forgive my wife, she killed them, and I'm going to go find my purpose. Guilty as they come, and no one paid attention or does to that, and it's sick. His wife was sick. He hears noise on the phone that they have 3 kids and she's home alone. My husband would come back immediately to see if they were acting up and at least take 1 or 2 of them for the ride, because that's normal. He couldn't be bothered, and now he walks free after his real purpose in life, because the 3 kids apparently weren't. Wake up, people. This man is guilty and needs to be held accountable. This is according to this person writing this. Somebody said, I found it troubling that law enforcement reported that Patrick Clancy was eventually walked out of the basement area after his initial shock finding them. If it were me, you'd have to carry me out kicking and screaming. I mean, like the most horrific scenario. You're dragging me out. I'm not walking out after discovering something like that. Also, if Lindsay Clancy was truly okay with the kids, as many claims protest, why wasn't Patrick concerned for an intruder at first? Lindsay, like, instead of where the kids are, like, what happened? Who did this? I suppose we'll never know those moments before he called 911. Someone said, exactly. If you arrive home to that situation, You would typically be completely stunned and confused. What happened? Who did this? I know that Lindsay did tell Patrick that she tried to commit suicide and jumped out the window, but upon seeing the children, he should have been completely confused about who had done this to the kids, but he wasn't. He knew immediately by screaming out that she murdered them. That means that there was more going on in the household behind closed doors than we know. Someone said, I agree with you both to a point. I have thought about this more than I'd like to admit. I don't believe he had anything to do with it. But what I do have a hard time understanding is why is it once he found her outside, he stayed with her until help came. I can say without a doubt that if I didn't look for my 3 innocent, helpless children first, I would have the moment I found my spouse. I would have waited for help to arrive to stay with my spouse so I could go find my children, because I already would have found them, or I would have been in the process of looking. Him staying with her until help got there was wasted precious time that possibly could have saved their lives. I don't understand his reasoning for this. I probably never will. I also would need to be dragged out of the house if I found my children like that. There's no way I'd be walking out there. I'd more than likely not be going between the 3 of them. I'd more than likely than not be going between the 3 of them, losing my frickin' mind. I definitely wouldn't want to leave their side no matter what. However, I've been told on more than one occasion that not everyone deals with shock and or grief in the same manner. I don't know what to think about him regarding the welfare of Lindsay. In one instance, he said that she had had the best day, and in the GoFundMe letter written, he said she was sick leading up to, if I remember correctly, that day. He said one thing to her attorney and something different to the DA. Someone said, I wouldn't have stopped for my partner spouse. I would have immediately been in a panic knowing something was off. He said he picked up on that the house was quiet and still. Once I found my children strangled and knew that it was their other parent who had killed them, I would have done everything in my power to get my hands on the other parents and attack them. Once my twins were born, they were all that truly mattered because they depended on me and needed me. Your spouse or partner or other parent, they're an adult and are responsible for themselves in comparison to your little children. Someone said, I know what you mean, but on the other hand, I don't think mom and dads often feel the same kind of oneness with their children that mothers do. My husband and I watch, read, and listen to a lot of true crime, and our responses to different behaviors in men and women, especially where children are involved, differs considerably, and even more so now that we have our own child. During my pregnancy and after my daughter was born, I had some pretty intense PPA, and so did my husband once she was born. We both ended up on anti-anxiety meds within the first 2 months postpartum. She's 1 year old now, and while I still have some anxiety, it's nowhere near how consuming it was when I first had her. But at the worst, I couldn't stop playing out scenarios of how my daughter could die. Even when she was sleeping to the exact specifications of the American Academy of Pediatrics, I would just watch her to make sure that she was breathing. I wouldn't sleep for days on end until my body just gave up and forced me to, for at least an hour. And during that time, I told my husband if our daughter died on my watch, I would most likely take my own life. Or worse, if she died because of something he did or didn't do, I didn't think I would be able to be with him afterwards. It was actually a better scenario to my effed up mind than I was the one to fail at keeping her safe, because then I could take my own life and not have to live in a world without her. It was a terrible time and a terrible thing to keep saying to him, but it's how I felt. To be honest, even if it was deeply random and completely accidental, if our daughter were to die on his watch, I don't think our marriage could survive it. I don't think I would ever be able to get over it enough to look at him again. I'm saying this because even in the worst of my husband's PPA, he never felt the same, and I know he still doesn't. For him, on the hierarchy of importance of love, it is me, then our daughter. For me, I want to say that I love them equally but differently, but if I'm being really honest with myself, my daughter comes before everyone and everything all the time. I know that not every mother feels that way, or maybe they don't feel that way forever, or maybe they do, but I can say without a doubt that the way that mentally well mothers love their children is different from how mentally well fathers do. There is always going to be a tether that we have from carrying them that can't be accounted for otherwise. And even if we don't carry them ourselves, the way women's hormones and brain chemistry interact with children, specifically postpartum, it's just vastly different than how men do. Of course, there are outliers and exceptions to this, but my point remains that what a woman would do or not do in regards to their partner in this situation is not the same as what a man would do. It's honestly shocking to me that my husband could picture loving me, even if I was responsible in some way for the loss of our child, just as it is shocking to him that I can't imagine staying married afterwards. Okay. Someone said, girl, I get it. After IVF and pregnancy, I had PPA too. I was so anxious and convinced she would die. I was raised to think that I was a failure, so that didn't help that much. My daughter was born a month after these poor children were murdered by their mother. I absolutely hate this sick biatch for doing this. Those precious babies, I saw pictures of them, and they love their mom so much. Shame on their father, McLean Hospital, her doctors, in-laws, parents. I told my husband if I ever said I was going to harm my daughter to make sure I'm never around her. Why didn't Lindsay leave? Go live under a bridge, stay at her mother's, etc. I'll never understand this. Someone said completely untrue. Someone said most of what I wrote is personal experience, so I'm not sure what you think is untrue. I was offering that this person who wrote this gut reaction to this man's odd behavior is clearly coming from the lens of a mother. Instinctually, we are different from men, just as we are hormonally and chemically different from men. It is not often that medical studies include women, and most medical practice on women is still done on info only collected from studying men. But when studies do contain women, or specifically populated with only women, the findings are usually quite different from similarly framed male studies. Just off the top of my head, the amount of oxytocin a new mother produces versus a new father, the fight or flight response women experience when hearing a baby cry, and the pitch at which they react is always much higher than their male counterparts. But even outside of just parent-related bioresponses, women have much different heart attacks warnings than men. The left arm pain is not common for women. It's usually a migraine, or even the difference between how neurodivergence presents behaviorally in men versus women, and the rate at which social masking is successful. No masking is sustainable, but women tend to be better at it for longer. As humans, we tend to separate ourselves from the animal kingdom a lot of the time. But if you believe in science, then we all have biologically evolved to this current species. And within the process of evolution, some traits and biological responses are programmed into us, whether we like it or not. Of course, no one is a slave to their basic instincts, but I can imagine that in a time of high stress or trauma, we're not functioning with our higher brain, and the reactions that we have bound to differ based on whatever traits we happen to have encoded in our DNA. Someone said, I agree. His actions are so strange. He knew that the house was completely silent, and he knew that something was clearly wrong. Why didn't he look for his kids at all? They obviously needed help. He already knew that Lindsay was responsible for the silence. Once he did eventually find them murdered, he instantly knew that Lindsay was the killer. It's like some part of him knew that his kids were beyond helping, but He didn't want to see the reality with his own eyes. There seems to be a huge disconnect between what he knows and what he says he knows, which may be why people find this case incredibly interesting. We want to believe that there is a certain type of person that can be trusted with our precious little babies. Sadly, Lindsay demonstrates that nobody can be considered safe. And evil is everywhere. The contrast between fantasy and reality in this case is stark and terrifying. Let's see here. Someone said, I've been saying this since day one, that Patrick Clancy is 100% involved. Lindsay Clancy said, I heard a man's voice. Normally when someone who has postpartum psychosis or schizophrenia, or who has any mental illness that is experiencing hallucinations, whether auditory or visual, you never hear the individual state the sex of the voice. The individual usually says that they were hearing voices. My opinion is that Patrick Clancy is 100% involved. If he is not actually maybe the responsible one who played the role in this heinous crime, I think that he was giving her medication that she was no longer taking. Was she medicated and in a psychosis? I think he was that male voice she heard. She had never said she heard voices before. This was new. He actually reached out to his college roommate. Patrick also allegedly told friends weeks earlier that Lindsay, who reportedly struggled with postpartum anxiety and depression, was on medication and that he worried she was suffering the worst side effects possible from benzodiazepine withdrawal. The same college friend whom Patrick texted on January 5th also remembered that Lindsay seemed fairly normal, mostly quiet while on the phone and keeping to herself at a couple's dinner on January 22nd, just 2 days before the tragedy. The friend recalled being actually surprised that Lindsay was there due to Pat's statements about her health, and the family friend didn't know she was coming that night. The evening was the first time the group had seen Lindsay in a couple of months. I find it odd. He moved to New York. He doesn't visit his wife or attend court. I believe it's because he's already dating. He's probably did the Google searches. He set it up. Someone said, how can you even think that, you sick F? Someone said, thinking that is going to come back to get you. Wow, someone said. I don't know you, so I can't say you are sick and delusional, but your accusations are mean and cruel. You don't know what she has said before, during, and after her break. If he was feeding her pills, why would he argue with the doctors that they're giving her too much, and that she was not acting like herself? Wouldn't he tell them that they're working great so he could get more? He went out to dinner. He has been out of the office numerous times before, and she never did anything. She had been open and honest with him and her family when she was having those thoughts, and they would sign her in at McLean Hospital. Do you think he would have left her alone if she didn't seem okay? No, he would not have. He said she looked better. She spoke to someone else who said she sounded happy, and her husband said it was a good day for her. How do you know he has not visited her? His lawyer attends court for him. Can you imagine the press going after him for a comment? You want to bet if a man who lost his wife and 3 kids is dating? Why? He's a smart guy who has a good job in the computer field. He would know that all searches can be discovered. Someone said, I just came across this thread. It's not worth responding to the countless inhumane morons here. Someone said, I only just now heard about this case and discovered this. Was less information about the crime available to the public when this thread was made? Because otherwise I can't understand some of these moronic and evil conspiracies painting Patrick as some sort of criminal mastermind. Someone said, who cares? If this just happened to you, you're you. You're going to want to run away however you do. Finding a new life as soon as possible is one way out. Someone said, you're really stretching this. He was in shock. Stop creating your own narrative. He likely has not even been allowed to make contact with her as he's a witness in the case. Dating, he's grief-stricken. Leave him alone. You sound stupid. Okay, let's see what else. Someone says it reported that he was screaming in agony and begging his children to breathe. Another one said in a recent New Yorker article, he talks about this. He said he was with her for about 10 minutes before he went to the kids. He wondered if it would have made a difference. Sadly, he said he had to attend to one child at a time, and Cora was on her side for some reason. He went there first, likely the first he saw. It's all so awful. What is Patrick Clancy's age? Someone said. Back in January, I remember seeing online that Patrick Clancy was at least 10 years older than Lindsay Clancy, who was born in 1990. Now, some months later, recent news reports read that both are in their 30s. I just want to know. Someone said, I think they're close in age. Maybe he is a few years older. He's the brother of her college friend, I believe. 33 now, both of them, someone said. That was 2 years ago. Let's see. I think I heard he's in New York. One would think working. Do we really think he's not working? Could be the best medicine. Immerse yourself in work. Someone said, I think staying in Mass would leave him living with this nightmare daily, and people know him everywhere. His area is close-knit, and going to New York City is logical, lost in the crowd. Processed from afar. All comments said about Patrick claim he's a wonderful, caring, and loving person. Okay, someone said, I thought there's something because he was at home working from home when it happened, but they're saying he went to pick up food when she decided to do it. Like you said, his reaction was a reaction of a person who could care less about his family, only about him and how he looks to these people. I also don't understand why he made a GoFundMe account. It's really suspicious. Also, why would she jump out of a second-floor window to kill herself? The house wasn't high enough to do that. I think she was probably trying to escape from him, someone said. Someone said he's been working from home since she told him about the thought she kept having. Several times she said things to him about hurting the kids, and he would sign her into McLean Hospital in Belmont. She had been very open to him, her parents and other family members. Her family had just been up from Connecticut to visit and help out the week before, and no signs or anything. He did not make the GoFundMe. That was a friend of his who did it at the time. They had hoped that Callan would survive, but he passed away 5 days later. He hired a lawyer who has already said the money is not being used for her defense. Her parents have been paying for her defense. It's a good distance from the second floor. Okay. How can you judge someone's actions when you haven't been in a situation? He did his best as he could in a harrowing situation. I'm sure he was in a state of shock and he was not acting rationally. Give the guy some grace. He has experienced a tragedy that no one should ever have to go through, and he's dealing with it in his own way. I can't believe you have the audacity to criticize his behavior as not normal when you haven't been in his situation. Our reactions to tragedies are often surprising. Someone said this has to be one of the most unhinged and mentally disturbed comments I have seen on a forum. Seek help, my friend. Okay, let's see. Okay, this can go on, but that's just some of the stuff. I don't even know how we got here. Okay, so I think we should do the word cookies. It was 100 in my conservatory the other day. I have all the curtains closed now. We've got this weather for, it was cool here today, quite breezy. One of my neighbors said that it was too breezy for her on the lake, but she's from Florida. She was wearing like a fleece jacket and Ugg boots. You couldn't believe it. Yeah. July 20th. Yeah, I need to watch your videos from that. Yeah, well, watch the one from the other night because that has a lot of information in it with the documents. The documents. Oh my goodness. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's almost 4 a.m. 4 o'clock in the morning. Okay, daily puzzle. Daily puzzle. You're definitely on the dad holds no blame. Trod. There's no 3-letter words. Trio. Third. Maybe extra words. I don't know. A lot of times they don't let you do 3-letter words. It'll say so it goes no 3-letter words. See over here? You're not allowed. You're not allowed. See? It doesn't allow you to do it. Not allowed. You're not allowed. I don't know what's wrong with this. This is why I tell you I don't even need to drink, okay? I'm probably acting more crazy than Scooter. No trod. No trod. Don't trod on me. No trod. No trod. No trod. No Troy. Nobody in here made of corduroy. Hot Rod. No. Riot. Quiet riot. Riety. How did they act? They acted riety. Oh, weird, isn't it? Where's murder? Where is murder? Trot is there. Trot is here. Trot is there. Trot is here. Oh, Trot is there. You're right. Thyroid. Thyroid. Why can't I think of thyroid? Trod was there. Trod is there. Trod, trod. Don't trot on me. Oh my gosh, what is wrong? Yeah, I got dirt. I tried Tori. Tori, I tried it. I tried it, and on the way I lost it, I lost it, I lost it. What's another word for this? That Tori. Tori. Okay. Ooh, special level. Now we're getting those more. Yay, we did it! Okay, let's see now. I tried Combs. What is it? See how it takes your words and it makes them something else? Yes, murder, obese. Okay, this has to be it now for tonight. I thought your thing said crackhead. Oh my god. It says crunched. Oh my gosh. What is it? Hi guys. We're back to the start again. Hi guys. I still can't believe I can't hear that like I did before. I can't believe it changed. If I wanted it to change, it wouldn't change. I can't believe it changed. Hi guys. That's why I don't drink. Because it changed. I don't understand. It's going to drive me crazy. Undercover. Okay, that's going to be it for tonight. That's going to be it. Tomorrow we'll work towards the new advancement, all right? I don't even know how, because we did so much last night, how we worked almost towards that advancement last night. We did an advancement last night, but we almost worked towards getting another one tonight, but I don't know how. All right, love you guys. God bless. Prayers. Be good. Hi, guys. Go find out why that's doing that. Oh my goodness. How do we get out of here? Jane, how do we stop this crazy thing? Like this. Prayers and love. And light.